Hi, welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be reviewing a new drone by GEPRC and it's the DarkStar25. You've already seen me review the DarkStar22 before. I love that drone, great for cinematic, but if you wanted to push it in freestyle, it had a few little issues where the bumpers would come out and they'd rip. So they've addressed that with this drone, they've made a few little updates and things, so we'll go through it. So in this video, I'm going to go through a little unboxing. We'll compare it against the 22 and show the changes. We'll go out and fly. We'll give you the pros and cons of what I like and don't like, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. I just want to say thanks to GEPRC for sending this out. No money's exchanged hands. They've sent this out for review and they don't get to see this video. So all thoughts my own. Let's jump right in. So as you can see, I was sent the WTFPV version. That means it didn't have an 04 on board. I've already put my 04 Pro in there. And I'm glad to say in this one as well, you can also put the new 04 wide. Now GEPRC are going to be bringing this out as an 04 Pro, 04 wide, or plug and play like I've got here, where you just put your own VTX in. You've got your normal little bits in there and your stickers and how to set up the flight controller. Now this drone does come with an option to have GPS or not. Mine has got GPS, so we'll go through these to make sure these are set up correctly. You do need to configure it. And we've got a spare set of props as well. Let's go through to see what we get in the box. Okay, so as you'll see, mine comes in black and you get two types of canopies. You get white with a white top. Mine was missing from the box because it's a review unit. They forgot to include the top one. So I always rock black anyway. I prefer black because, you know, when you fly in and things and you're filming, it's not going to be seen in mirrors as often. But you've got black and white. You can interchange those canopies. So we'll set that to one side. You've got a nice USB-C to USB-A cable. So you've got loads and loads of screws in there, which is good to see. Now, one thing I've not really seen before is a tiny little 04 cable like this. How good's that? So if you want to use this one and just stop your wire getting caught, because I have had some drones before where my wire has ended up getting tangled in the props. I've not put it on my camera. I've actually just tied mine up and it's got a little bit of tape around it. I prefer to do that because I move them between drones. But if you want to use this, you've just got to be careful. Take the 04 apart, take the camera apart, and you can use this little coaxial cable. We've got a spare pad for the bottom of the drone for your battery. It's nice to see we've got 5 gummies. So there are 5 gummies on the drone and we get 5 spares. We've got 2 spare 04 connectors. Now it has already got an 04 connector on the board. So we've got a cable with all 6 wires if you want to use S-Bus, and we've got the 4 wire one as well. But as I say, there is already one on the drone, but you've got a couple of spares in there. You've got your little tool there for being able to put in your gummies. I find it easy with tweezers. I know it can be a little bit fiddly to put them in for the first time, but once you've got used to putting these gummies in, tweezers I find a lot easier. But you can use those if you want. Just be careful because you can tear the gummies. We've got your little connector in there for resetting your 04. You get a little orange front if you want to change the look of your drone. So when we go through the drone, you'll see there's a little black section. I've blacked all mine out, but you can replace that if you want to show a little bit of colour, and obviously you could have the white as well. And the other thing which I'm going to come to is you do get, it's really nice quality, but you do get an additional tool as well, which you do require if you want to take the top canopy off. So I'll set that to one side and I'll show you that when we go through the drone. I've seen these before. This can go on the bottom of your battery underneath your drone. For me, it just adds a little bit of weight, so I'm not going to use that. But if you want to put it under your battery, it just gives a little bit of support. I'd recommend get rid of that. It's just going to add additional weight. We've also got a spare battery strap. Now this is 15 by 150 and the one on the drone is 15 by 130. So if you do want to use a slightly bigger battery and you're struggling with that strap, you do have a longer one available, but it is going to weigh a little bit more as well, which I will come back to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you around the drone. Let's have a good look at it. Let's give you some of the stats first, and then we'll do a little comparison against its baby brother. So as you can see, we're rocking the 04 Pro on this. I've already installed it, and just like last year's, it installs in the top canopy. Now, if you want to put an 04 wide in there, you can do that. Obviously, the new wide is the same diameter as this, so you've got the option, and that would be a little bit lighter weight. A little change they've made here to last year. Again, I'll show you the comparison, but we've got really nice quality antenna mounts on here. So they're more strengthened from last year. They won't pop out as easy. As you can see, I can really pull on those and they're not going to come out. But then if you want to pull them out, lift them up, and then if you're packaging it away, easily take them apart and they just slot back in again. Push them down and they just lock into place. We've still got the same canopy as last year. You've got a lot of adjustability. Compared to last year, you've got a little bit more angle on this as well. It goes back that little bit further, so you can get a lot more angle if you need to. One of the big changes they've made is the gummies. So if you've not seen this before, this is a really, really well dampened canopy. You can see the whole 04, the whole top canopy is dampened, it moves around, and you have a gummy at the back. You have two gummies at the front, you can probably see them just under there, and then you have one on either side. Now what happened with the DarkStar22 is in a crash, or you were freestyling, you would hit these, this would pop off a little bit too easy and end up tearing out your gummies. But now you've basically got two screws, and that keeps that canopy locked on. So you've still got all the stabilization on there, nice and smooth, so much more solid for freestyle. Really, really like that. Now, as great as these screws are, I do have a little point to complain about with these. So these are locked in, nice and tight, no issue at all. But underneath, and I'm not sure if you can make that out on the camera, but there's a little bolt in there keeping that screw in. When you screw this in, that won't lock into that bolt. That bolt's gonna keep turning round. And this is where this little tool comes in. Slots underneath, locks onto the bolt, and then you can use your hex driver to undo that. But what it does mean is we've got an additional tool that we need. So it would have been nice not to have to use this. It's just something else that you wouldn't normally carry in your bag. I don't know anything else that uses this. It's obviously a standard sort of hex bolt, driver. I'm sure you could pick up another one, but it just means that if you want to take this canopy apart, unfortunately, you're gonna have to use this as well. Lock it underneath and unscrew it. I don't think you're going to rip these gummies now. Again, it's really, really solid. We'll see if we end up tearing them, and we'll see how much of a problem that is. Just a shame about that. So this is the DarkStar22 from last year. I've got no 04 in here. I've already taken it out because I've used it for something else. But as you can see, this last year used to pop off. But what we used to have to do is the ELRS antenna was attached to this canopy. Now, your ELRS was installed either on the top or you tucked it into your board. Your GPS was in here. So when you took this canopy off, you had all these other wires. And for any reason, if you wanted to change this canopy, you'd have to take the ELRS receiver out, unfeed it, undo your GPS. It was a little bit of a pain. So what they've done on this model now, the only thing in here is your 04. They've moved the antenna to the back. The ELRS sits in here as well, all protected, and the GPS sits here as well. So the only thing we've got in that top canopy is the 04 Pro, and it's just got a little connector connecting it there. It is a very tiny 04 cable. It's a little bit fiddly to first connect it, but you're not gonna rip those wires, so that is great. I think that's a lot better now. Just two little screws, this annoying little thing, put it in there, and then you've got the canopy, and obviously pop the little screws off. So this DarkStar25 is rocking a Taker F722 35 amp all-in-one flight controller, and it's got a 32-bit ESC, and that's 35 amps. At this stage, I'm not 100% sure what it's running, but I will check. I'm guessing it's AM32, but I will update that later in the video to let you know what it's running. I've yet to plug it in, I've just taken it out of the box. For the motors, we're running SpeedX2, 1404, 4600 kV, and if you've worked that out, that's 4S. So really nice little motors, really common for this size. And HQ props, DT63 and then X3 V2. So these are really common for this size. And I think this is also the same as the Cinelog V2 as well, which I've got. So I've got loads of these props, loads of my drones take these. The main plate is 2.5mm, but what you will see they've done, similar to their other modular series, it's got quite a large base here. Can you see it? So this is quite heavy and quite thick. Now last year they didn't go with this. They just had the frame and the flight controller screwed straight into it. So I don't know why they've gone for this thicker unit, but it has added weight to this year. So it is quite chunky. It's quite a chunky boy, which will be good for cinematic flying, but for freestyle, it's going to be a little bit heavier than some others around this size. What you will see underneath, we've got the strap underneath, and again, this is the 130 length. That's just hooked on the side. You can fit loads of different size batteries in there. The XT30 is underneath now. Previously, it was on the back of the drone. And on the last one, we used to have one of those USB connectors, which I really don't like. So we've got a proper USB connector on here, and they've moved it to the bottom. So a straight USB-C connector, no silly dongles. I don't know if it's a good or a bad place for this. I would have preferred to have seen this on the side or on the back or on the front or even on the top, because the issue for me is when you want to calibrate your drone or work on your drone and you've got a USB cable in the bottom, it makes it very difficult to sit your drone straight. So you're gonna have to find something raised when you sit it down. And obviously when it's on your bench, if you've got a standard USB cable like the one that came with it, it's just a little bit annoying underneath. So I'm not the biggest fan of it underneath. Obviously make sure you don't lose that gummy because you don't want to get crap in your USB connector, but it's better than those little plug-in USB connectors that you always end up losing. But in overall, it feels absolutely solid. I really like the look of it. You've got the LED around here as well, and they've changed it from last year. Last year we had the bright blue, and now we've got a red LED, and I really like that. I'll show you that a little bit later. So let's just compare again to last year's. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger. So this is a 2.2, this is a 2.5, but yeah, quite a bit bigger. Same principle with the Canopy. Last year, they had just a little slot in there for your 04 antennas, which could pop out easily, but they've improved that now. You can see there's no screws in this one, but there is in this. I think they are going to be looking at this and updating their old model as well to use the same sort of screws, so that'll be nice to see. So let's get the scales out and let's see what they weigh. Now there's no point in weighing this one. I haven't got the 04 in it. I'll just set that to one side. Now this is basically as you'd fly it apart from the battery. No ND filter on this. Let's give that a weigh. And we're looking at 181 grams. So that is quite heavy, and that's just because it's really solid at the bottom. So it's going to make a big difference on what batteries you use. So GEPRC recommend a 750 to 850. Obviously that's a 4S, and you're going to get from 6 minutes to 8 minutes depending on what battery you use. But you're going to have to look at the weight as well. So I've got a nice selection of batteries here. Now I don't have any 750s, but I do have an 850, a Boss Lipo. I've got a bigger 900, a little bit swollen on there. I'm sure it's fine. And I've got loads of these 650s. So I use these on my cine logs, and I've got loads of these. I've actually got some 850s coming as well. So I would like to see how it flies on these, because I've got loads of these batteries. And I've also got a very light 550 just to see how it performs. So we'll just go through the weight on those. So we're at 181 with the 550. We're looking at 234 grams, so that would be under your 250. The 650, 248 grams. I have got an SD card in, and if you were to use an ND filter, they're 1 or 2 grams. So you're going to come in at bang on 250, and that's for a 650. And those two previous batteries were high voltage, so they would charge to 4.35, so a little bit of extra flight time there. This 850, this is just a standard LiPo by Boss Lipo. That'd come in at 271. And this is probably going to be a little bit big, but we'll give it a try, and it's really swollen. But this is a 900, only a low C, 80C rating, Flyway Explorer, and that's at 267. So they're the batteries I'm going to be using. Now what I did test is with this 650 battery, this strap works perfectly. Let me just show you. So it fits in there. Really nice, and you can get plenty of the strap round, no problem at all, and you come in under the 250. If you were to put the longer strap on, you will be over 250. I think it comes out at 253. So to be under 250 grams, for me, it's a GMB 650 with the smaller strap. For a battery like this 850, you're going to find it's a little bit tight. It's not the best strap for it. I think you're going to need the longer strap. I mean, it's okay, but you know, I would like it wrapped around a little bit more than there. It does hold it, but you'd probably want a longer one. And again, it's just going to go up in weight. So that's 272, another 3 grams for the longer strap, so 275. I would love to have seen this a little bit lighter. Does feel quite heavy, and again, it's a challenge to get it under 250 grams. If that's not important to you, then great, stick whatever battery you want on. I'll just plug it in and let's have a look at the LEDs. There we go, so lovely LEDs. Obviously I've not got my receiver connected, but as you can see, really bright. Right, let's unplug that. Okay, so the next thing to do is let's go out and fly. So I've got a few different batteries charged up. We'll go out. I'm the type of flyer who likes to fly cinematic. I use these for drone fly-through videos, things like that. So I'll go and do some smooth cinematic flights. We'll obviously do some freestyle as well. So we'll push it and let's see, is it capable of freestyle? Maybe if we crash, let's see how durable it is. It feels great on there, I must admit. And then let's see how it performs. When we come back in, we'll have a look at the flight footage. Let's see what it looks like. And we'll find out which battery works best for what type of flying. Then I'll give you my what I like, what I don't like, and then we'll give our final thoughts. Right, I've just come out to the local park and I'm going to give it a first fly, obviously with the DarkStar25. Now, it's really, really bright out today. It's a little bit windy and I'm not running an ND filter. Basically, I just want to run this exactly as you'd receive it out of the box. I am going to film in D-Log M, but the shutter's going to be on auto, everything's going to be on auto, so we'll see how it goes. I've got no stick cam today, but my controller I'm going to be using is the TX15 Max, which is kind of my preferred controller. I've updated to ELRS 4.0. I have configured the GPS, so I'll be able to give that a little test. I'm going to use the 650 GMB first. I'm just going to have a little bit of a cruisy flight, see how it feels, and then we'll go to some different locations and we'll try out a little bit of freestyle. Nice and quiet initially, and away we go. Now, what I will say straight away, this is quieter than I was expecting. Yeah, this is pretty quiet. Right, so let's just see how it feels. Now, I've got my own rates on here. I didn't know what the hovering point was, so I just had to kind of guess. 30% throttle. So I've got a little bit wrong on my rates, but I'll adjust that for the next flight. Really quiet. I'm so used to flying my Cinelog 30 V3, which is pretty loud. This is nice. Now, I have got a little bit of throttle expo on here around the hover point. I had to kind of guess what the hover point would be. I think I've put it as 27 and it should be 30, and I've got 50% expo on there. Now, I'll be honest with you, I am actually getting a few bits of breakup for some reason. A little bit jittery. My DJI footage, not sure why. Yeah, got a really good reception. Let's see if we can go in here, slow it down a little bit. Always a challenge here to see everything. Yeah, it's a little bit choppy for some reason. Yeah, I'm getting breakup, and I never get breakup through there. So I do need to have a little look at this 04. Now, this is one of my own 04s. Now, I don't know if this is a new or an old 04. I do have 2 new 04s out of about 7, but I'm not too sure which is which now, because I've had them open and I've moved between so many drones. I might just have a little press of return to home just to see what happens. So I'll just flick it in. 3, 2, 1.
Return to home.
Not touching anything else. A little bit jumpy. Is it going to turn round? It is. Again, I'm not touching anything at all. So yeah, not the smoothest coming back, but let's see. It is high, and I said it is windy today. So the throttle hover's going to need adjusting. I think I've got it set at 1270. Yeah, I'm going to take control over that. Yeah, it is coming back, so GPS is working, just a little bit jumpy. But so far we're at 5 minutes 20, which is all right. So it was advertised 6 minutes, I think it was 6 minutes 10 to 8 minutes 20 on a 750 to 850, and this is only a 650, but it is a high voltage battery. So it looks like we're definitely going to get 6 minutes, maybe 6 minutes 30. But we haven't really done anything here, we've just been cruising around nice and smooth. 6 minutes 20. Yeah, bang on. So this is under 250 grams, it's actually bang on 250, and we've got 6 minutes 30 landing at 3.5. So around for 6 minutes 36, only 181 metres, max speed 48 kilometres, and flight distance just under 3k. Right, let's pack up, let's get to a new location. Right, I've just popped out for an evening flight. I've just come on a local retail park. It's after hours, so most things are shut. There is still a few people dotted around, and I'm going to be sitting in my car. I've got a couple of batteries. I'm going to be using the GMB 600. I've had a few flights with it already. It's covered in grass because the grass has been cut outside and it was a little bit damp. And I thought, with it being a lovely evening tonight, I'll just pop out and give it a little flight. Got 5 satellites, we don't even need them. Yeah, so we'll just have a little whiz around the car park first, get a feel for the drone again. Yeah, certainly lovely and smooth, this drone, I do like it. Presume these are all open. Yeah, I've obviously got to get the hang of this so far. Let's just have a little fly around, see what we've got, see what we're working with. Yeah, definitely more agile than the last one. The last one was still good, but this is 100% better if you want to do a little bit of freestyle and stuff with it. It's lovely and smooth, feels great. And this is a smaller battery, and we're still on 3.8, which is great. Yeah, and we've not even got a fast camera angle really, but it's whizzing. Definitely responsive. But this is great for a little cinematic drone as well. Look at that, nice and smooth. I'd love to do a little loop on there, but we'll see. I don't want to lose it and end up on the roof. But there's a bit too many people around for now. This is just a little whiz around just to see how we feel. And I think the last one was 3S if I remember rightly, so this being 4S, a lot more power on it. It's great. But you can see you can be really direct with it. Very responsive. Should we have a little go at a loop or not? Can I do it? Have I got the skills to do it? Where can we do it? Yes. Woohoo! That was at the end of the battery as well. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this. Right, coming to the end of this battery. Right, excellent. Flight time 5 minutes. End battery 13.66. No idea what that works out at. I need to get that changed so I can see the average cell voltage. I don't know it off full pack size, but 3S was nice on the last one, nice and smooth, but 4S on this, it's great. So let's send it up for one more. 9 satellites after plugging straight back in. 3, 2, 1. Armed. Woo! Whoa, we'll certainly see if it's durable. Yeah. I think we broke a prop. Let me go and get it. Yeah, just smashed the prop. So my ND filters took a little bit of a scratch on there, as you can see. That's going absolutely nowhere, no issues at all. And you can see we've just snapped a prop there. All the other props are all right. It was quite a hard landing. Everything else is fine. No cracks on the ducts. And that was a pretty good smack on there as well, and I smacked it before. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna change my props, and let's get back up in the air. Right, I've managed to fix the drone, put a new propeller on it. It's still absolutely beat up and filthy, but still gonna be fine. So I've lowered the camera angle a little bit, and I've just come to a little Marina. But there's a few little things to fly around, so we'll just get it up. I'm using the rest of that battery before, so hopefully there's enough battery in it. I don't know where we got up to before I crashed. Now obviously it would look cool because it's getting darker now with lights, but let's be a little bit more inconspicuous. So we'll get that on there. Got no GPS, so if shit goes wrong, it goes wrong properly. Armed. But let me show you where we are. So we've got this, we've got the Marina over there, and then we've just got this little this little thing here, so we can do a bit of smooth, or we can go around a few gaps and stuff. Just check what the reception's like. Shit. I can see it. Let me go and grab it. Oh dear. So there we go. I've had a massive crash on there. I've bent the prop. It was a very hard one, and as you can see, it's actually ripped off the top canopy. So the 04 has ripped off. It's ripped the cable there. It's not ripped off the board, that's absolutely fine, but you can see it's just severed the cables there. And actually, this did rip off. Now, it's not damaged the drone, I've still got the locking nuts in here. I've lost one gummy off the front, and I think these have just broke or widened. So the question is it durable? Yeah, it is, because I've had loads of crashes, but that was a I mean, let me just turn the camera around and show you how high that actually was. Let me just click you off here. All right, I'm just going to turn the camera around. So it was a substantial height. That is absolutely massive, and I crashed right on the top there. It was deeper than I thought it was, and it was me trying to do some matty flip that I can't even do. So I've obviously fell from right up there all the way down. Yeah, and I was lucky I didn't ditch it in the water. So unfortunately, that is going to be the end of this review so far. I can probably get home, and obviously I've got the other canopy that I can use. This may still be all right, but I'll have to see what I can do about this here, because that, if I can't bend that back, we're stuffed. So I'll have a go when we get back. It was a relatively hard crash, and as you see, I've had loads of other crashes and it's been fine, but I think I might be able to bend that back if I'm careful. So I'll have to have a look to see whether I've damaged anything else. So what I'll do, when I go home, I'll give it a check. We'll see what's going on. If I can get it back up in the air, I will do. If not, unfortunately, until I repair it, that'll be the end of the video. So if there's another flight, you're going to see it next. If not, you're going to see me back in the office and let me give you my final thoughts. Right, I'm back out. I'm not going to film this whole flight from this camera. You're just going to see a little bit of footage. But I've come back out with the DarkStar25 and I fixed it. So I'm rocking, I mean, I'll show you when I get back in the office, but I'm basically rocking the white frame now. Everything's perfect, new cable on there, all good to go. And I actually quite like this colour as well. So I'm just going to go a little flight around the park. There's a few people in there, but I've just spoken to the parents and they're fine with me flying around as long as I'm not near the kids. So I'm just going to have a nice smooth flight, no tricks, don't want to crash it. Nice and smooth just to see how it comes out. And then I'll give you my final thoughts. there you go. So another quick flight with the DarkStar25, just some smooth flying, fast flying through some tight gaps. So for me, the way I'm going to be using this is definitely smooth, cinematic, but it just shows you if you want to fly fast, you can. If you want to do a bit of freestyle, you can. But yeah, absolutely love it. Let me give you my final thoughts with the pros and cons. See you back in the office. Right, finally back in the office, so I'm just going to give you a little summary of those flights and then I'll give you my final thoughts and advise maybe who this is for, who it's not for. So all in all, I found the best battery to use for me was the 650, and that was the high voltage one from G&B, 250 grams or just a gram under, and it flew for around 6 minutes, absolutely fine. On the harder freestyle flights, I got about 5 minutes on that, which again is still really good, and that's pushing. I did try the heavier battery, and again, it flew really well on that. That was fine. And then for the last flight around the park, I actually used the 550 GMB, so a little bit lighter, and I got around 5 minutes of flight time. You could definitely feel the difference in this. It was a lot lighter. I hadn't tuned my hover point, so I was bouncing around a little bit on that one, and that's just because it's a lighter battery, but flew really well on that. So 550 to 850, you're good to go, and I think the flight times are pretty accurate. I've crashed it a hell of a lot of times and it's held up pretty well, but obviously you saw I had that big smash at the Marina. I'm just trying to see where the dent was. So I think the dent was on this side here. You can probably see there's a little kink in the ducts. Now I managed to bend that back. They are really solid, these ducts. So there's been no splits, but a little kink in there. I've managed to bend it back. The props fly absolutely fine, no issues at all. But I will probably change this at some stage just because I want to use this for cinematic flights and I don't want any bumps. I want it all nice and smooth, clean, freshly built. I always change my props for every flight, things like that. You'll see I obviously moved to the white canopy. Now, I suppose a little weak point, if any, is just these little bits where your gummy slips in. So that's how it came off. It obviously pulled out. It can't pull the nuts out. So it's, you know, maybe how could they improve that? Possibly not have that where it slides in and have that as a solid piece. If that was solid, that wouldn't have happened. But this is probably fine. I can probably even bend that back and that might be all right. The other thing we broke was just that front piece here. Obviously from that hard smash, you can see that's got a little break in it, a little break there. But again, it's a solid piece and it did protect the drone. No issues with the 04, the ND filter protected it. So white canopy, black top, orange here. The only other thing I did, I don't know if you can see it on here, I've got my little standoff on that side. I lost it on this side. I did take it apart when I was in my car and I did hear a few things drop, but I can't find it. So for now, I've just put a screw in there. There's also one other little modification I've made. I mentioned you had that attachment to be able to take these nuts out and you had to slot it in from underneath. Simple solution, just do it the other way around. So put your screw in from underneath. So you could probably see there's a little hex screw in there. So you can put your hex screw in and you can actually just tighten this on by hand. You can use that hex driver or you could even use pliers. All things like that you're going to have with you. But I think having it this way around, it works exactly the same. It just means that you don't have to rely on that tool underneath. So all in all, I'd like to say, really enjoy flying it. I appreciate the updates over the DarkStar22. For me, the biggest thing is the batteries because I've got loads of 4S batteries, loads more choice, there's more power, longer flight times. I like how it's still got the stabilized top, so there's no issues with the footage, but obviously it's a little bit more secure. And I think the antennas are a little bit better as well, the way they slot in. Obviously the GPS as well, that was a little bugbear some people had where you had to fit it yourself, but now you can order it with a GPS, and the GPS worked really well. Is it for you? That's really up to you. If you want it for cinematic, I think it's fantastic. If you want it for freestyle, again, for me, these aren't freestyle sorts of drones, but can it do it? Yes, it can. It's nice and small. It's an improvement over the 22, but obviously it's a little bit bigger in size. If you've got the 22, is it worth upgrading to the 25? Not too sure. 22 is still a really good drone. If you found you had issues with the gummies coming out, you could just put a couple of screws in yourself to cure that. But if you want something a little bit bigger and 4S, it's nice, and it is a nice little upgrade. Obviously I smashed mine pretty hard, so I don't think there's any fault on the drone there. Yes, it would be nice if it was a little bit lighter so you could fly a slightly bigger battery and still be under 250 grams, but it's built really well and it handled really good. So the drone's out today. I'll leave some links in the description of where to buy it, probably AliExpress, GEPRC. They will be affiliated links, so anything you buy from there, it just gives a little bit of support back to me. Doesn't cost you anything else. This isn't a sponsored video, all thoughts of my own. I've showed you the good, the bad, what I think of it. Overall, I think it's a really nice drone. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please do consider subscribing for lots more content. There's loads more new drones to come and frames and bigger drones, things like that. But for now, I will see you in the next one. Peace.